Welcome. I am Dr. Sage Sr. If you are watching this and you have already celebrated your 85th birthday, or if you are currently walking alongside someone who has, let me begin by saying you are witnessing a biological miracle. Statistically speaking, reaching the age of 85 places you in an elite group. You have outlasted nearly 95% of all humans ever born in your generation. In the medical community, we often refer to the period starting at age 85 as the fourth age. While the third age is typically defined by active retirement and leisure, the fourth age is where the biological rubber truly meets the road. At 85, your body is no longer just a collection of organs and tissues. It is a masterpiece of resilience and adaptation. It is a machine that has been running continuously for over 31,000 days. But what exactly is happening under the hood? Why does the transition from 75 to 85 feel so much more profound than the transition from 50 to 60? The truth is, after 85, the body enters a phase of terminal change. This is not a conversation about inevitable decline, but rather a deep dive into how our biology recalibrates to sustain life against the odds. Today we are going to look past the wrinkles and the gray hair. We are going to look at the very foundation of your existence to understand the physiological reality of being 85 plus. We will explore why your cells behave differently, why your internal clock has shifted, and how you can optimize this extraordinary chapter of your life. My goal is to give you the clarity and the tools to navigate these years with dignity and profound understanding. This is the science of the fourth age. This is what truly happens to your body after age 85. To understand the 85-year-old body, we must start where life begins, at the cellular level. By the time you reach this milestone, your cells have undergone a transformation that scientists are only just beginning to fully decode. The first major phenomenon we encounter is called cellular senescence. Think of your cells like workers in a high-tech factory. In your youth, these workers are efficient, they replicate quickly, and when they get old or damaged, they simply retire and disappear. However, after age 85, many cells enter a state we colloquially call zombie cells. These cells stop dividing and stop performing their primary functions, but they refuse to die. Instead of being cleared out by the immune system, these zombie cells linger. They begin to secrete pro-inflammatory proteins known as SASP. This creates a state of chronic, low-grade irritation throughout your entire system. This is why you might feel a general sense of fatigue or stiffness that was not there just a decade ago. Your body is essentially dealing with internal clutter that it no longer has the janitorial staff to clean up. This leads us to a critical concept in geriatric medicine: inflammaging. This is a portmanteau of inflammation and aging. In an 85-year-old man, the immune system is in a state of constant, low-level hypervigilance. It is like a smoke detector that is chirping because the battery is low, even when there is no fire. This constant background noise of inflammation taxes your energy reserves and makes your organs less efficient. We must also talk about the Hayflick limit and your telomeres. Telomeres are the protective caps at the end of your DNA strands, much like the plastic tips on the ends of shoelaces. Every time a cell divides, these tips get a little bit shorter. By age 85, most of your cells have reached the Hayflick limit, meaning their telomeres are so short that the cell can no longer safely divide. This is why healing takes so much longer now. A small scrape on the arm of a 20-year-old might heal in 48 hours. For you, it may take 3 weeks. Your cellular repair manual has run out of pages. Finally, we have to consider the accumulation of DNA damage. Every day of your 85 years, your body has been fighting off oxidative stress and environmental toxins. While your body is incredibly good at repairing DNA, it is not perfect. Over 8 decades, these tiny, uncorrected errors pile up. This is why the risk for cellular mutations increases. However, there is a silver lining. Modern research shows that even at 85, your body is still attempting to maintain homeostasis. It is still trying to fix what it can. By understanding that your body is working harder at a microscopic level just to stay balanced, you can begin to appreciate why rest, high-quality nutrition, and stress management are no longer optional luxuries. They are the essential fuel for a cellular engine that has traveled further than anyone ever expected. Moving from the microscopic world of cells to the visible structure of your body, we encounter the most significant change in the fourth age, the transformation of your musculoskeletal system. For a man over 85, his body is a testament to gravity and time. The primary challenge we face is a condition called sarcopenia. This is the progressive loss of skeletal muscle mass and strength. By the time you reach 85, you may have lost up to 40 or even 50% of the muscle mass you possessed in your 30s. It is not just about the size of the muscle, it is about the quality. Muscle fibers are replaced by fat and fibrous tissue, which reduces your power and your metabolic rate. This is why a simple task, like rising from a low armchair or opening a heavy jar, feels like a feat of strength. Your fast-twitch muscle fibers, those responsible for quick explosive movements, are the first to diminish. This leaves you with slow-twitch fibers, which are better for endurance but less helpful when you need to catch your balance quickly. Then we must look at the framework holding everything up, your bones. While we often discuss bone density in relation to women, it is a critical issue for men in the fourth age as well. After 85, the rate of bone resorption outpaces bone formation. Your bones become more porous and brittle. Furthermore, you will notice you are shorter than you were in your youth. This isn't an illusion. The intervertebral discs in your spine, which act as shock absorbers, have lost much of their water content and have compressed. In some cases, the vertebrae themselves may experience microfractures, leading to the slight stoop often seen in late seniority. Your joints and ligaments have also changed. The synovial fluid that lubricates your knees, hips, and shoulders has thinned. The cartilage that once provided a smooth, gliding surface has worn down, often leading to bone-on-bone contact. This is why you feel that characteristic stiffness in the first 20 minutes after waking up. Your body literally needs to warm up its internal lubricants. Perhaps most interestingly, your brain changes the way you walk to protect this aging frame. If you observe yourself, you might notice your gait has become wider and your steps have become shorter. Your feet spend more time in contact with the ground, what we call double support time. This is a brilliant adaptation by your nervous system to compensate for a slight decline in proprioception, which is your body's ability to sense its position in space. Your body is consciously trading speed for stability. At 85, every step is a calculated decision made by a brain that prioritizes the prevention of a fall above all else. Now let us go inside the skull to the most complex organ in the known universe, your brain. By age 85, the brain has undergone a physical downsizing. On average, the brain loses about 5 to 10% of its weight between the ages of 20 and 90. The prefrontal cortex, which handles executive function and planning, and the hippocampus, which handles new memories, are typically the areas that show the most shrinkage. What does this mean for your daily life? It means that your processing speed has slowed down. It takes a little longer to retrieve a name or to find the specific word you are looking for. We call these senior moments, but in the medical world, we view them as a natural byproduct of a longer wiring system. However, there is a fascinating trade-off that occurs in the fourth age. While your fluid intelligence, the ability to solve new problems quickly, may decline, your crystallized intelligence often peaks. Crystallized intelligence is the accumulation of knowledge, vocabulary, and life experience. An 85-year-old man may not finish a crossword puzzle as fast as a 30-year-old, but he is more likely to know the answers to the most difficult clues. We also see a shift in the sleep-wake cycle, known as advanced sleep phase disorder. Your internal clock has shifted forward. This is why you find yourself getting sleepy at 8 o'clock in the evening and waking up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. Additionally, the structure of your sleep has changed. You spend less time in the deep restorative REM sleep and more time in the lighter stages. This is why you might feel that your sleep is fragmented or that you wake up frequently throughout the night. But perhaps the most beautiful change in the 85-plus brain is the positivity effect. Neurological studies show that older brains react less intensely to negative images or stressful information than younger brains do. You have developed a biological form of emotional regulation. You are more likely to focus on harmonious relationships and meaningful memories while letting go of trivial frustrations. At 85, your brain is no longer a sponge soaking up every random piece of data. Instead, it has become a master editor. It filters out the noise and focuses on the essence of what matters. You aren't losing your mind, you are refining it. You are transitioning from a state of constant acquisition to a state of profound synthesis. This is the biological foundation of what we call wisdom. It is a brain that has seen it all, survived it all, and is now focused on the ultimate goal of the fourth age, perspective. Beyond the brain and the bones, we must examine the internal engines that have kept you running for over 8 decades. At 85, your cardiovascular, respiratory, and digestive systems are performing a complex balancing act. Let us start with the heart. Your heart is a pump that has beaten over 3 billion times. By the age of 85, the walls of the left ventricle, the chamber responsible for pumping blood to the rest of the body, typically become thicker and stiffer. This is not necessarily a sign of disease, but a response to the stiffening of your arteries, a process called arteriosclerosis. Because the pipes of your body are less flexible, the heart must work harder to push blood through them. You may notice that your resting heart rate remains steady, but your maximum heart rate has decreased. Your heart can no longer redline or speed up as quickly as it once did when you climb a flight of stairs. This is why you may experience breathlessness more easily. It is simply the heart and lungs operating at their revised upper limit. The lungs themselves have also undergone structural changes. The tiny air sacs called alveoli, where oxygen enters the blood, lose their shape and elasticity. The diaphragm, the primary muscle of breathing, becomes weaker. This results in a decrease in your vital capacity, the maximum amount of air you can breathe out after a deep breath. Furthermore, the cough reflex, which is your body's way of clearing irritants from the lungs, becomes less sensitive. For a man of 85, this makes respiratory health paramount, as the body is less efficient at moving oxygen and more vulnerable to environmental stressors. Moving down to the digestive tract, we see a shift in how you extract fuel. After 85, the stomach often produces less hydrochloric acid. This is a critical change because stomach acid is required to absorb essential nutrients like vitamin B12, calcium, and iron. This is why many men in this age group experience a drop in energy or bone density. It is not that they aren't eating enough, but that their extraction plant is less efficient. Furthermore, the transit time of food through your intestines slows down. The muscles of the colon are not as vigorous as they once were, which can lead to chronic constipation if not managed with fiber and hydration. Even your gut microbiome, the trillions of bacteria living inside you, has changed. In the fourth age, there is often a decrease in the diversity of these bacteria, which can affect everything from your immune system to your mood. At 85, nutrition is no longer about calories. It is about high-density nutrient absorption and supporting a slower, more deliberate digestive process. In the fourth age, the way you perceive the world, your gateways of sight, sound, and touch, undergoes a significant narrowing. This has profound implications for how you interact with your environment and your loved ones. Vision is perhaps the most obvious change. Even with the best glasses, the amount of light reaching the back of your eye at age 85 is only about 1/3 of what it was when you were 20. The pupils become smaller and less responsive to changes in light. This is why it takes much longer for your eyes to adjust when you walk from a bright, sunny porch into a dim hallway. There is also the loss of peripheral vision and depth perception, which is why stepping off a curb can feel uncertain. Hearing loss, specifically presbycusis, is nearly universal at this stage. You lose the ability to hear high-frequency sounds first. In a crowded room, the background noise becomes a wall of sound, making it difficult to distinguish individual voices. This is more than a physical inconvenience. It is a social barrier. When communication becomes exhausting, many men over 85 begin to withdraw, which can lead to social isolation. One of the most dangerous yet least discussed changes is the decline of the thirst mechanism, or hypodipsia. In your youth, when your body needed water, your brain sent a powerful signal of thirst. At 85, that signal is muffled. Your body can be dangerously dehydrated, yet you may feel no desire to drink. This leads to a thickening of the blood, increased confusion, and a higher risk of kidney stress. Hydration at this age must be a scheduled task, not a response to a feeling. Finally, we must talk about your skin and touch. At 85, the epidermis thins significantly, and you lose much of the fatty layer beneath the skin that acts as insulation. This is why you feel the cold so much more intensely than others. Your skin also loses its elasticity, and the small blood vessels become more fragile, leading to the purple bruising or senile purpura that many men see on their forearms. Your sense of touch and pain can also be blunted, meaning you might not notice a small injury or a burn until it has become serious. The world feels different to an 85-year-old man. It is dimmer, quieter, and physically harsher. We have covered the biological realities of being 85, but I do not want you to leave this conversation feeling discouraged. Quite the opposite. Understanding these changes is the first step toward mastering them. As Dr. Sage Sr., I want to leave you with a blueprint for living with power and purpose in these years. First, embrace the principle of use it or lose it. While your muscle mass is declining, the rate of that decline is something you can influence. Resistance training, even with very light weights or elastic bands, tells your body that your muscles are still needed. This triggers a hormonal response that can slow down sarcopenia. If you move, your body will fight to maintain the capacity for that movement. Second, prioritize high-quality protein and hydration. Because your stomach acid is lower, you need the most bioavailable forms of protein, eggs, lean meats, or high-quality whey to maintain your strength. And remember, drink water by the clock, not by the thirst. A glass of water every 2 hours is one of the best medicines for your brain and your heart. Third, stay socially and cognitively engaged. The brain is like a muscle. It requires social weightlifting. Engaging in deep conversations, reading challenging books, or learning a new skill creates cognitive reserve. This reserve allows your brain to bypass the physical shrinkage we discussed in Part 4. A man who is curious and connected is a man who stays sharp. Lastly, adopt the sage mindset. At 85, you have a perspective that the rest of the world desperately needs. You have lived through history, survived personal storms, and seen the cyclical nature of life. Do not see your physical limitations as a prison. See them as a simplification. Your body is asking you to slow down so that your spirit can catch up. Focus on the quality of your days rather than the quantity of your tasks. Your body after 85 is not a failing machine. It is a seasoned veteran. It requires more maintenance, yes. It has its scars, certainly, but it is still here, still functioning, and still capable of experiencing joy and providing wisdom. You are in the fourth age, a period of life that very few humans throughout history have ever had the privilege to see. Honor your body for the incredible journey it has taken you on. Respect its new limits, but never underestimate its remaining power. I am Dr. Sage Sr. Thank you for joining me on this deep dive into the biology of the 85-plus man. If you found this information valuable, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. Stay strong, stay curious, and I will see you in the next video.